hop on Tinder. Give yourself a little bit of an explore. Don't take Tinder too seriously.
I like that advice, except for the Tinder. Stay away from Tinder. It's a death trap.
No, I don't use Tinder.
The longer you stay on there, the worse you'll feel about yourself.
Maybe I should change my advice because I don't use Tinder, so I don't know how evil it actually is.
This video is brought to you by Land of the Losers. I don't know about you, but I have some books that I've been reading for 6 months because I can only get through a couple of pages at a time. But I also occasionally come across a book that I finish in a couple of days because it's so easy to read and so gripping. This is one of those books, and other people who have bought it have experienced the exact same thing. They finish it in a couple of days. If you want to read my full review, check out the link in the description box below, and when you're ready to order your copy of this incredible book, make sure to use the special discount that's available only to my audience members. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here again with my friend Isla, and we're going to read a post today called I, a 20-year-old male, finally got my crush's, a 20-year-old female, number, but she has a boyfriend. I knew of my crush long before we met, as she dated someone I went to high school with. This past spring semester, I had class with her. Along with this, we started working together on the days in between our class. In total, we have talked to each other over the past 10 months at least twice a week, and at most 4 times a week. I have liked her for most of it, and she has shown signs of interest. I have never made any serious moves despite people telling me that she was interested. These people were basing it off what I was telling them, and I figured that my retelling of events were not accurate assessments due to perception and bias. Also, she is genuinely nice, and I didn't want to take that as attraction. I asked for her number on Thursday at the end of a casual conversation. She smiled for 5 seconds and then said that she had a boyfriend. From what I have been told, their relationship has just started. I had no idea she had a boyfriend, as she has never mentioned him, and I do not have social media to check. If I had known she had a boyfriend, I would not have asked for her number. She said that she does want us to be friends, because she feels we already are good friends. She then thanked me, saying no guy has ever asked her like that, and that it was really sweet. 20 seconds later, she walks in smiling with her number written down on a piece of paper. Anyway, here's my number just in case you ever want to text me sometime or whatever. I thanked her and she went back to work. She made an effort to talk to me 2 times after this despite being busy. It doesn't seem like our interactions have changed after I asked for her number, which is great because that was my biggest fear, and I truly enjoy having conversations with her and knowing what's going on in her life. I haven't texted her, and I've been wondering if I should. People think she's interested in me, but I don't know about texting her while she's in a relationship. Even if her and I were just to be friends, I feel as if texting her might cause problems between her boyfriend and her, which I don't want. I was planning on waiting until Thanksgiving and sending her a message saying, "Happy Thanksgiving." That's not uncommon for people to do. I wouldn't feel as if I was being disrespectful to her boyfriend and relationship, and it would give her my number. Should I wait until then to text her? Should I text her sooner, if at all? What should I say if I were to text her?
Ooh.
Oh Lord, I have so much to say about this particular post.
Yeah, this one's really cute.
Yeah, this guy's a really nice guy. Nice absolutely to a fault. He needs to make some serious changes, I think, if he's going to be successful with women. I'll be interested to get your perspective. So, first thoughts on reading that. What do you think?
It doesn't sound like he's had a lot of relationship experience going through high school, growing up. He's only 20s. I think all of us have a point of our lives that are similar to this kind of ultra crush that we always think about. It reminds me of myself when I was probably in high school and had that crush that you just always think about, and he talked to me 3 times this week, and like keeping track of all the times you talk to each other is cute, but probably looking at things a little bit too closely. I think you need to take a step back from what your emotions are saying and see what the actual situation is.
When you think back to those times when you had a crush and you were counting the interactions, is that a happy memory for you? Because, you've seemed like nostalgia, like, oh, I remember that. When I think back to when I was doing that back in high school, I cringed so hard. I'm like, oh God, not that. That was terrible. I couldn't stand that.
Yeah, well, I think I cringe at the moments because it feels like such a different mindset now. That's a bit like, whoa, how did I think that way? That's not how I get a crush nowadays. No, but it brings a little bit of the adolescence and the innocent feeling back in of childhood.
Yeah. I really like this guy, but he's not likely to get a girlfriend, I don't think, in the current state. It sounds like he's waited 10 months pining after this particular girl, and he was talking about how they're good friends. In my mind, I'm thinking, how then do you not have a phone number after 10 months? Like, if you're not interacting at all, I think that a lot of this is potentially just sort of inventions of his mind, and probably it's made him feel good, feeling like he's potentially making progress slowly over these 10 months. But those 10 months could have been much better suited, instead of obsessing about this one girl. If he had spoken to 3 different girls every single day while he's at college or at work or whatever, he would be in a much better place than he is right now.
Even if you do have interest in one person at any point of life, you should never spend your time obsessing over that one person. Anyway, it's not a relationship, and it's not anything until it becomes one. So you're free to roam and explore.
Have you heard of the disease one-itis?
One-itis? Like monogamous?
One-itis. Like a one-night stand. No, one-itis. Have you heard of that? All right, so this is a disease, because this situation that he finds himself in is actually sufficiently common that the red pill community has created this disease to describe its effects. And what it means is that you get an unhealthy obsession with one person. You become fixated on them. You become, trapped by this belief that there's this one girl and only she can make you happy. This guy, you can see how it would turn out that if he was to spend not 10 months but 5 years chasing her and ultimately seeing her with men who he doesn't approve of, it's going to turn him bitter. And what the red pill community is trying to do is prevent men from becoming bitter by saying, you're going about this the wrong way. Date a lot of people, especially when you're 20, and then you'll avoid getting this one-itis. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really, really good disease that's come about to explain it. And it does remind me a lot of. I think that's why I got so nostalgic over it before. It reminds me a lot of when you're first getting those emotions, when you're first hitting puberty, when you're 13 years old, and you've never had to deal with liking anyone before. It always will happen once until you learn that as well. And you've got to find your own way to move on.
It's like chicken pox. You got to get it once. But like most diseases, I feel like when you get a bad dose of it and you heal yourself eventually, your body kind of has the antibodies or whatever's necessary to protect itself again. Like you need to go through a really traumatic experience where you focus on one person and then you get over it. The disaster is if one person moves from one-itis case to the next and then they just continually obsessing. That's a disaster.
Yeah, that's right.
From her perspective, do you think that she would be aware that this guy likes her? Like, they're pretty clued in mostly. They're good at reading social cues and body language. He's probably thinking, I've done a good job of just making her think I'm a friend. But in my mind, I'm thinking, dude, if you liked her, she probably has been aware all these 10 months. Do you think so?
This is the one thing that I do worry about coming out of this situation is the nice guy perspective of it. He could think that he's been making all the right moves to let her know that he is interested. But I've definitely been in that situation where it just seems like they're being a good friend. It doesn't seem like there's any because it's not pushy in any way, especially it's not going in a romantic way at all. And then it flips around and you realize that's what that person's been trying to tell you the whole time, and you go, oh crap.
So you think it's a better idea to just be upfront, right?
I think it's much better to be upfront, and if you've got emotions, you say them out loud.
I think the fact that their interactions are the same after he asked for a number is good evidence of the fact that she was already aware. She's like, oh, that's sweet, but you're not telling me anything I didn't already know. So yeah, nothing's necessarily going to change. So she says she has a boyfriend, but she still gives him her number. What did you think of that? Do you think that's the right thing to do?
That's where I'm a bit confused, because it says she leaves the room and she comes back 20 seconds later. It almost sounds like it's you can't have my number for that reason, but I would like to do the same thing, but knowing that also I might not if this guy had serious feelings for me, because I don't want to mess around with him too much.
Well, I think that's a respectful thing to consider. It makes me wonder if that was almost a little bit selfish, in that giving him her number, maybe that's leading him on. Like,
yeah,
that it's keeping the hope alive. Potentially, she had the ability to cure his one-itis right then and there, but she's stoked the fire. She's kept it alive, you know.
But in saying that, if she wasn't aware of his feelings at all, he admitted that he wanted her number and that he had some feelings for her. It's not a common one to keep that crush going on in your head after something like that. So from her perspective, she could be giving him her number, saying, well, we got past that last bit, you now know I've got a boyfriend, but we can move on and continue the friendship that we already had.
She didn't say that though.
No.
We might be giving her too much credit.
To me, it's an obvious sign of let go of it, don't text, because if you feel disrespectful, you're probably going to be disrespectful. If you feel like you're just texting a mate for being a mate, then why is there any reason?
Yeah,
to
his
be
guilt
worried?
is the good indicator that there's something not right about the situation.
Exactly.
I don't think that she can divorce herself from too much responsibility, though. I mean, we don't have any sign that she's not a nice person, but what I'm a little bit suspicious of is whether or not she wants to keep this bloke as an orbiter. You know, I don't want to date you now, but I'll keep you in the wings in case things don't work out with my boyfriend, because that's what best suits me. Which is why I'm curious, is she being a bit selfish in the situation?
I've definitely had before where people have asked me for my number, and if I'm not in, like, well, generally it's because I don't have the interest myself. I say no, but I've had a friendship continue on and it hasn't ever had any problem, or as far as I could tell, it's never been a continuous crush thing in their head going, I'd still date with them if they ever changed their mind.
Really? You don't think so?
No. Part of my topics for the past year has been exactly that, is the amount of men that would turn around and sleep with the woman they're just friends with if they turned around and said yes. Women cheat as well. It's not like women don't have any of that crazy sexual energy going on. They still can be ambiguous and crazy.
So what responsibility do you think is on a woman to be aware of what the intentions of a man is? So if she's like, I'm pretty sure he's interested in me sexually, but he hasn't said so I'm totally fine to just enjoy this friendship and all the benefits that come with it because he hasn't made his intentions clear? Or do you think there's some kind of moral onus on the woman to be aware of what he wants, regardless of whether or not he states it out loud, and then confirm or reject his desires from there?
I think it's are you looking at purely just the woman's responsibility though?
Well,
because I think it's as much the man's responsibility to make that intention clear as it is for the woman.
I'm inclined to agree. I think that some people in the red pill community can get very judgmental of women if they are knowingly exploiting men, and I don't think that judgment is necessarily unfounded. But on the whole, I really think it is the responsibility is on men to make your intentions clear. And if you get taken advantage of, maybe there's some shared responsibility, but really you were complicit in that. You allowed yourself to get taken advantage of, and potentially you didn't make your intentions clear to start with because you knew they would be rejected and you preferred to have this 10-month fantasy kind of going. So all good relationships need to be mutual. You need to be on the same page. If you're both friends, you both need to be friends. If you're lovers, you both need to want to be lovers. And if there's a mismatch, it doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's finish the video. I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever been in this situation? How did you handle it? What did you think of the advice we gave? What would you tell this guy? Any and all thoughts, I'd love to hear from you, so comment below. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We do videos like this all the time. If you want to show your support, make sure you check out my Patreon page. I post there every single day. Great extra content, great way to support the creator. And I want to thank again Land of the Losers for sponsoring this video. I finished this book in 48 hours. I hear the same story from everybody who reads it. You can't put it down. It is an unbelievable book. Available in Kindle form, hard copy. There's discounts for my viewers. Check out the link in the description box below. That's all today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you again next time.
Bye.